Well, good morning. I've got a room full already. Hi, hi, hi. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Sarah. Hello. Hello, Donna. Hello, Bridget. Hello, Mari. Hi, everybody. You're all in the room already. How lovely. Hi, hi, hi. Oh, resting here in bed. I've got boys with me. I don't know if you can see. Am I holding the camera right? Here's the Melchior. We've got Belzy's butt right there, and Savvy's over by the window. You can see him reflected in the mirror, though, I think. Can you see him reflected in the mirror? I don't know if you can or not, but it's nice to be able to open up there. That's what I open up. That's the window I look out of while I do this, while I'm doing the prayer, and you see me gazing off into the distance. That's what I'm gazing off into. Let me just gaze off into the future. Trying to stay in the now. We got an interesting topic today. Literally had no idea what I was going to talk about when I woke up, and then a couple of things happened. And I was doing my Wim Hof breath, and some emotions came up. Inner child work, the ego unraveling, the soul right there, Johnny on the spot, exactly knowing what to say to the child, to the ego of my heart, whatever you want to call that. Tears while I was holding an exhaled retention, which is a little hard to do. I have a Mrs. Kravitz in my neighborhood. I don't know if she knows I can see her, but I have a Mrs. Kravitz. Oh, you cried all night. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Look, I know. Empaths unite. We're already united. We're all one. We can talk about that. Sadness and depression is the dissolving of the ego into the soul. That's why to love yourself while you cry, while you feel sad, is the hardest thing. Oh, it's not the hardest thing. Folding a fitted sheet is the hardest thing. Loving yourself while you feel sadness and depression, that's the second hardest thing. Keeping your sense of humor during a global crisis is probably the third hardest thing. Are we qualifying these things? I think we are qualifying them. That's what I love about this group. We're all just like supporting each other through this really rough time. And look, when this passes, it's not an if, it's a when. When this passes, I probably won't be doing both morning and evening streams, but I really love doing these streams. I think they're helping, right? They're helping y'all. Why do I never seem to have all this crying? Oh, don't worry. You'll get your turn. It's because you're working. Julia, it's because you have a job, right? So, we each have our it's not every piece of the puzzle is an edge, right? You know what? Here, oh my God, I can't believe I remembered that. I have got a story to tell you. I have got a story to tell you. I can't believe I forgot that story. I allude to it here and there, but it's totally about self-worth. Wow. Let's see. Just roll out that folded sheet and store it in the pillowcase. Call it a day. Well, there you go. Leave it to a Cancerian to find a life hack, right? Really love that you do these, and would love if you could find time to still live stream when you can. Love. Oh, I will. Well, because remember, this is part of my career. This is not something I'm doing for fun. I mean, it is fun. It's an odd kind of fun. But you know what I'm saying. Of course I will. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hello, Malenka Divine. Hello, Malenka. Are the workmen back? The workmen are back. Anyway, so I hope we are all doing semi-well. I hope we're all okay. It is Libra moon on a Tuesday. Today's the 5th, Tomorrow is the last day before full moon. Full moon in Scorpio is hitting on the 7th. That should be an interesting day, and I'll let you know right now for that day of the full moon, regardless of the timing, we will meet here in the morning. In the evening, I will do a little full moon ritual thingy hoo ha doodah in the Facebook group, the Mark Angelo Lions Mail for short Facebook group, and then we'll be back here at night on the YouTube channel for a card draw. And I'm thinking of actually using tarot. The reason why I don't usually use tarot in the card draws on here is because what if somebody gets the Tower or the Phoenix card, and you know what that card means in my deck, right? It's like, ooh. And yes, I could pull those cards out of the deck, but that's not how I roll, right? So I'll think of something. I would like to use the Daughters of the Moon Tarot or the Mythic Tarot, but tarot, when you do a card draw like that, it can be very triggery. And you wouldn't want me to pull cards out. Some of you would, I'm sure. Good morning, Luann. Good morning. Good morning. My almanac says full moon in Virgo. No. That would be in if the sun was in Pisces. The sun is now in Aries. So it's the opposite sign of the sun. The full moon is always the opposite sign of the sun. So check your almanac, sweetheart. Right? Wait, now you're making me question what day it is. Right? We're in April? Yeah, no. April 1st is the sun is in Aries. So yeah. Yeah, right. Do we really need the Tower card right now? Do we really need that? Hi. Hi, Dee. Hi, Renona. That's Renona. Oh, like Renona Wider. I can't even say that. You made a mime yell at you? Yes, I did. I made a mime yell at me. Yes, I did. In high school, I did. Yes, that is true. All right, what happened? It was my senior year of high school. I went half the day to Bayshore High School, taking my life in my hands. And the second half of the day, I went to the BOCES Cultural Arts Center, Board of Cooperational Educational Services, but Performing Arts, Cultural Arts. So they brought in this guest teacher for the week, a mime teacher. Now, let us just start with, I was a huge appreciator of Bloom County. Olive loaf. Okay, let's just leave that there. That's that. Mime was never my jive, right? It was never my groove. Was never into it. Marceau, blessed be, Shields and Yarnell. But other than that, walking against the wind, yeah, not my thing. So do understand that we were taught in our acting classes to never indicate. Indicating is when you project an emotion through facial expression without actually feeling the emotion. You're actually indicating what you're feeling, right? So happy, sad, angry, right? Worried, right? Like that's bad acting. And yet that is exactly what this mime teacher was asking us to do, was indicate, which I get, that's mime. And he kept like pushing us and was getting frustrated with us. And me, being the teacher that I am, spoke up. I said, well, understand. It's like we're being trained to do the exact opposite of what you're asking us to do. In other words, I was challenging his teaching method. Not that what he was teaching was wrong, but that I was saying, cut us some slack. And he went off on me. He was like repressed mime. Like all that not speaking apparently was building up inside of him. He said, and if you don't like it, you can get your stuff and leave my class. So I grabbed my stuff and I left his class. And that went down in history as the day that Mal made a mime yell. You bet I did. Oh God, I love that story. Really, why didn't I just croak that day? That could have been my crowning achievement for this life, and I would have been okay with that. Maybe I did. Maybe a quantum version of me did not survive that day. Only me, I know, right? I made a mime yell. Well, nothing like a living paradox. I am a paradox. Not just one, I'm a pair of docs. Good for you, Mark. I know. Uptight mimes. Not my thing. Can you be an uptight mime? I guess you can. Oh my god. I love that story. That's going in my autobiography. Dude, I'm the Mal paradox. I'm a walking paradox. Virgo life. Yo, yo, Virgo power. All right. So I want to get down to our subject matter today about self-worth. That mime needs to love what rises. Oh, Bridget, you just made my day. That literally, mime con. Okay, that was my first belly laugh of the day. Mime needs to love what rises. Oh, where's a drag fan when you need one? They're all downstairs. Oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not wearing mascara or eyeliner because I'm laughing so hard I'm crying. Oh, that was so good. That was mine used to love. We should have t-shirts made just so that people could ask, what does that mean? It'd be like, it had to be a third-degree secret. Hi, Melks. Hi, baby kitty. He's my baby. He's like, what you laughing about, mama? What you laughing at that thing in your hand? They have no idea what I'm doing usually. I'm just talking into this box in my hand. Anyway. That was a really good laugh. So let's say our prayer. Let's talk about this worthy thing, this self-worth thing, and I'll tell you the story of how I came to it, right? Everyone take a nice deep breath. Oh, thank you, Bridget. I really needed that. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, we surrender this day and this time spent together to you. May it serve your purposes, because we are here only to be truly helpful. We are here to represent you who sent us, so we don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because you who sent us are directing us. And we are content to go wherever you wish, knowing that you go along with us and that we will be healed. As you teach us to heal, please show us what you would have us do, where you would have us go, what you would have us say, and to whom. That together as one at the end of this stream, we can go forth into our lives with a deeper understanding of what self-worth is, of what the process of evaluation is all about self-respect, about self-esteem as a verb, and that from your perspective, you made us perfect. There's nothing wrong with us, and that our value, our worth is beyond human calculation, and yet we are all worth exactly the same. Maximal worth. Help us catch a whiff of that today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So mo to be. And so it is. Hi. That was a great guffaw. I really needed that. Yeah. My boys are just rolling their eyes like you are talking to a piece of plastic in your hand and you're laughing and praying at it. Okay. So this morning, like I said, I woke up. First thing I do is I go downstairs, I take a teaspoon or so of coconut oil pull. What happens when the plaque comes in contact with any kind of oil, it's just coconut oil tastes better. I don't want to do it with olive oil. I don't want to do it with almond oil. I want to do it with something that has a little flavor, it tastes good. It immediately takes the plaque and absorbs it. It like breaks up the bacteria, whatever it is. So I do that for 15 minutes. I spit it out in the garbage because you don't want to spit that out down a drain. It'll clog your drain. And then I lightly brushed my teeth with a little Colgate whitening, because I drink coffee. Because you're going to have a gap in your teeth, you might as well make your teeth white. And then, I come back upstairs, or I do it downstairs on the couch. I did it in bed. But before, oh no, I did my first round of Wim Hof, and already some emotions started coming up. Now, that's not usual for me. Usually the Wim Hof, it's so in the moment. But this morning, it was like, so during the exhaled retention, it was like this thing started happening. And, I'm all about love what rises, right? And so in the exhale, I'm holding my breath out. I'm talking, it's like, I love you, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I breathe, and I really got the tinglies, the inhaled retention for 15 seconds, like, whoa, right? And so then I take a break in between rounds, right? I used to do just like 3 to 5 rounds, one after the other, I'm like, take it slow. So I checked my Facebook, and I got a friend request from somebody that we had mutual friends with. And I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. I don't just say yes to everybody. I did that for a while, and it's just crazy. Hi, it glitched, but I'm back. I keep an eye on it. So I accepted this guy because we have like 3 or 4 mutual friends. I said, okay. And he sent me a Facebook message essentially asking to see pictures of Richard. If you know the nickname for Richard, that's about as close as I can get and stay within the community guidelines of YouTube. And if it just happens so often, and look, I'm not bragging. People think, well, you're lucky, you should take it as a compliment. I'm like, it's a compliment the first 300 times it happens, but after a while it gets a little, yes, Mari got it. And had I not just been feeling that feeling, but wait, let me, I'm laughing because my partner's name is Richard. Dick for short. But it was like, so when I did so I replied to him, I was like, thank you very much, but you should really read my profile. You don't know who you're talking to. And it's like, what do you mean by that? So then I told him, I was like, I'm a witch, I'm a spiritual teacher. I can understand the situation that we're all in right now, that people are feeling lonely, I'm missing physical contact, but really, I just wish people would read my profile before doing that, because they would think twice, right? Like, ask nightly, come correct. It's like, it is flattering if somebody's like, you are, I would really like to get to know you, and hey, if you want, but when it's the knocking on the door, it's like, really, that's the best you got? And now do you see how it got to the thing of worthy? And it's like, I'm worthy of better than that. Everybody's worthy of better than that. No, don't get me wrong. I was notorious PIG back in the day, back in the 90s, right? AOL chat rooms. It's not like I'm judging. It's not like I think I'm better than him. I even said I'm a spiritual teacher. It doesn't make me better than anybody else. But it's like, I get it. But after a while, and I said after a while, it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel good. It's a little insulting. And then he didn't reply. I was like, good. So maybe he got the message. But then I realized he didn't read it. So I did my second round. Now, this second round of Wim Hof that I did was very, very emotional. And so like tears started to well up in my eyes. And I'm guessing what it was the ego dissolving. That's what sadness is. When you feel sadness and depression, the ego is dissolving. And to give love to it, to love what rises there, right? It's time we evolve past AOL chat rooms. Praise the gods, hallelujah, right? Oh, I do miss the 90s. It was definitely a thing. MAL 11706. So the third round, it got even more intense, and the inhale, I almost passed out, but the tingles were worth it. It was really like it was extreme, but in a really good way. And so I'm talking to this feeling in my heart, and it was about worth. And my ego, the inner child, whatever you want to call it, was in pain. It was like that. I don't even need to go into the actual words it said, but it was like, and I realized what that was. That voice was the decades worth. Remember yesterday morning we talked about trying, right? Why try when there's a divine plan in place? There's a difference between trying and participating, right? And experiencing things. It was trying to prove its worth. And we all are. We've all been trying to prove our worth to who? To everybody else in the world, right? I'm worthy of better. I'm worthy of my dreams coming true. And I've been saying that to that child. I was like, you're worthy. But then my soul really started talking to that child, and it said something that I've never heard before. And the grammar is wrong, but the intention was right on. Instead of saying I love you, it said I worth you. I worth you. I worth you. Try that. Try that right now. Like talk to your heart. I worth you. I worth you. It's like saying, I say you're worthy. Because if I can love you and accept you, I worth you. I worth you. And the tears. The tears, the emotional release. If the first couple of Wim Hof rounds were intense, this was like, I'm surprised my eyes aren't bloodshot. It was really hard. I was really hard on my inner girl last night. Tried the tough love thing, just made me cry more. Yeah, no, you can't. It's because that's how we were raised. That's sort of like the ego beating up on the ego, where it's to be heart-centered, is to be gentle and tender. The ego, the inner child, they're not exactly the same thing. The personality, the ego, and the inner child are different things. I don't even know that I want to say things, different aspects maybe. But they all need more love, not less, right? Because the inner child holds the seeds of the higher self. There are some say that the inner child is the divine child, the higher self, but that we are the hidden children of the gods, the hidden children of the divine, hidden even unto ourselves by our pain, by our unfinished business, by our lack of self-worth. Because how can we be the children of the gods, spiritual royalty, mind you, everybody is, not just us? How can that be when I can't do this and I can't do that, and I didn't get anything on my vision board, and my dreams haven't come true, and I'm of this age, and look at the mistakes I've made, right? All this stuff, all this comparison, which is what the ego does. But the ego is the most dormant part of the soul. And so in this lifetime, particularly if you're watching my streams and you're on a spiritual path, it's about loving the ego, not letting it run the show, but understanding what it is, that it needs more love, not less. It's in incubation. It's incubating. It is the soul that's in incubation. The inner child is your innocent self, but, the grammarian in me prefers the word value to worth as a verb, but I value you, but it was just with the soul or the higher self, whatever it was, that I worth you. Because we were talking about, if you don't feel worthy, I worth you. I give you worth. I say you're worthy. I worth you. And it was just a key in a lock, and something came out, and cry. It was a lot of emotional release. So there it is. There's the technique. There's the trick that they gave me this morning. And I wasn't expecting it. I guess I should get used to having my emotional releases early in the day before I do these streams because first of all, I feel better. By the way, I had a dream this morning about Chelsea Handler that I flew to California and I had a friend there and I knew her somehow, and we went to a hotel, I guess the hotel I was staying in, but she was there and she was down in the bar and there was a table full of people and we were eating. What was that about? Like, and I love her. I think her Pisces sun is the same degree as my Pisces moon. I guess that's why she speaks for what I feel a lot of the times. My horizontal life is a work of art, as far as I'm concerned. If you haven't read her books, they're amazing. But it was a weird morning. Why wouldn't it be? I have Mercury conjunct Venus in Libra. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. You want to come snuggle with Mama? Come here. Let me pick you up. Come here. Oh, because kitties need love too. Here, just stay here. You just sit with me for a bit, huh? Yeah. So that Libra moon just going right over my Mercury conjunct my Venus. Yeah, let's blame it on the planets. Blame it on the planets. Hello, Kayant Bokhari. Cool name. This is my eldest son, Sebastian. My other two are also nearby. My 3 black cats. 3 black cats. See how they're aloof as can be? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Drawing the Circle YouTube channel. You jumped into an interesting part of the stream today. We've already been going for 25 minutes or so. But I want to, I kicked off, I had this memory, because we were talking about pieces of the puzzle, right? Julia earlier said, you know, why aren't I feeling all these waves of emotion? And I said, well, not every piece of the puzzle can be an edge piece. So some of you may know this, some of you may not. Back in the 90s, I worked as a personal assistant to a spiritual teacher by the name of Solara. They named a Toyota after her, which I think is the best karmic revenge ever. She was a trip. She probably still is a trip. I'm friends with her daughter on Facebook, still Nova. She's great. But it was the New Age 90s. It was nuts. It was a circus of the absurd. It made Cirque du Soleil look like the DMV. It was just cuckoo bananas, the New Age 90s. And being her personal assistant was not easy. But, you know, I paid my dues. Absolutely paid my dues. Moved down to Charlottesville, Virginia to work for her. That was the 1111 movement. If any of you are familiar with the 1111, the planetary activation. The 1111 is a pre-encoded symbol placed within our cellular memory banks prior to our descent into matter that once activated symbolizes that our time of completion is near. The 1111 is now hereby activated. Doing. Oh my God, I can still impersonate her to this day. And that was what, 1990, that's when I began spiritual teaching publicly. Oh, I know. Who wasn't channeling? I've always said I wanted to get all of the Archangel Michael channels together and all the Saint Germain channels and put them in a stadium and just have them duke it out, right? In perfect stereo, right? Like, because all the Archangel Michael, we are the bringers of truth, and they're have all the all the Saint Germain channels going, beloved masters of the one, like in perfect synchronicity. Duke it out. Ascended Master Archangel Deathmatch. Go! Fight! I just totally cracked myself up. My malcontents. Is that what you are? My malcontents. We're content to be now. But here is something that she used to say, and it's interesting how the brain synapses fell into place on this one. She used to say that each of us is a piece of the puzzle. Now, this is an extrapolation. It's not a direct quote. Each of us is a piece of the puzzle. So, you know, you show up and you go, what piece of the puzzle are you? It's like, I'm part of the pickup truck. I've got a little bit of the wheel and a little bit of the wheel well and a little bit of the paneling on the side. You're like, oh, great. What piece of the puzzle are you? Like, I'm part of the mailbox. Look, you can even see I have part of the little flag that says that there's mail in the mailbox. And then another piece shows up and they say, well, what piece of the puzzle are you? And they say, blue, piece of sky, no gradation from light to dark, no wisp of cloud, no piece of leaf, just blue. One of 875 pieces of just blue. And let's say that that piece of the puzzle doesn't show up. Because why? It doesn't feel worthy. Then you start putting the puzzle together. What becomes the most important piece of the puzzle? What is the one that you turn the couch over and you go through the garbage and you open up the vacuum cleaner bag and you get out the pendulum and you start calling psychics and remote viewers, and it's that one piece that doesn't show up. In unity consciousness, absolutely all of us are important here. There's none of us. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have a part in the divine plan. So you better work. You better work your puzzle piece. Be the best piece of blue that you can be. No gradation from light to dark, no wisp of cloud, no tip of leaf, no eye of newt, no toe of frog, no wool of bat, no tongue of dog. At least I feel like the blue puzzle piece, right? But here is the thing. That's about self-worth. And that's the thing. We can't, the ego, all it does is compare and contrast. That's why we're talking about this in a Libra moon. All it can do is compare and contrast. It's all it knows, better and worse. These are good emotions. These are bad emotions, right? Judges, right? This is healthy. This is unhealthy. I like this. I don't like that. And there's nothing wrong with having preferences. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to embrace the feelings that feel good. But we're in a lot of the trouble we're in because we don't deal with our emotions, including the ones that are painful and uncomfortable, as we've discussed many times here. How do we embrace them in a way that, because you got to feel it to heal it, right? So where does then what is really self-worth if we're incapable? See, that's the thing. The ego, the personality, is incapable of accurately evaluating itself. It devolves into criticism and judgment in the negative way. Oh, please, if I ask you all to write a list of your negative qualities, you would write a book, right? And if I said to you, list a quality of your worthy qualities, you would give me one-word answers. I'm kind. I can cook, right? There's no way you would be able to, without some time and some soul searching, be able to go on and on and on, because we tend to think of people who can do that as being narcissists, but actually they're not. They're not. They've been through hell. They've been to hell and back again. They have suffered. They have struggled. And their process of introspection, alchemy, they have learned to survive by loving themselves. So this idea of self-esteem being a noun, I think, is part of the problem. That we think self-esteem is something that we have or we do not have, but that's not true. We are always estimating ourselves because it's not a noun, it's a verb. It's a verb. It's a verb. How do you estimate yourself right in this moment? And we do it emotionally when we do that praise, gratitude, love thing, right? Scale of 1 to 10. How do you feel? Well, you're evaluating yourself, right? You are estimating yourself. So here's the T. This is where loving what rises comes in. You are either coming from the ego or the soul in any given moment. There is no in between. This is very Course in Miracles. I wouldn't call it the soul, though. It would call it the spirit, but semantics for right now. If you're coming from love, it's the soul. Done. That's how you know. That's why love what rises. You are embodying your soul. So that's why you are worthy of everything. That's the soul's point of view. You're worthy of everything. You're a perfect child of the divine. You are a soul that was chosen for specific soul qualities to be in the body that you're in, with the name that you're in everything that you have experienced in this life has not been to punish you. It hasn't happened to you. It has happened for you, for other attributes of your soul to incarnate here, like compassion, like kindness, like love, like sympathy, like empathy, and to play a role in the play of the divine plan, to play the game. Easy to forget that. But if you get how simple it is, and simple need not imply easy, then get that phrase that they gave me, I worth you. I say you are worthy. And you're not even giving the ego worth, because remember, the ego is just the soul in its dormant form, right? Hold on one second. So I'm sitting in a parking lot of New York Cancer and Blood waiting for my daughter who's receiving treatment. I know my purpose is to be here for her, yet watching her suffering is so very painful. So that's empathy, right? So that's empathy. There is worth in that experience somehow. Now, I'm not saying I'm not sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry for her pain. I've spoken with your daughter. I'm sorry for your suffering. It's not, see, and this is where the word deserve needs to be stricken from our language. No one deserves to suffer. It's not about deserve. Deserve is a word of the collective ego, because it's the only way that it can explain suffering. Well, I guess you deserved it somehow. And then as we learn different forms of spirituality, the ego takes spiritual language and uses it as a bludgeon, right? Uses it as a hammer, as a weapon against ourselves. Well, I guess in a past life, you stepped on an ant, and now that's why you're in this situation, which is not true, right? Well, I guess in a past life she must have done something, and so she deserves it. No, it's not for any other purpose than for the evolution of the soul, so that the soul incarnates here more and more. And honestly, we can learn through joy. We can learn through ecstasy. We can learn through happiness. But do we? Or do we learn from pain and suffering more? Now, I think we can learn from all of it, but it's sort of like only wanting dessert. When I got my pea pod delivery, I had ordered, this was for my inner child, 2 packages of Pepperidge Farm Nantuckets, dark chocolate, pecan. Oh my God, they're good. I still have 1 package left. In other words, that first package is gone. It only came yesterday. I had 1 with coffee this morning. I lie. I had 2 with coffee this morning. They will not be here by the end of the day, right? And people can say, oh, you deserve that. No, I just wanted it, right? Wait, I'm so grateful to be here for her, and I look for the meaningful truth in this. I've definitely gone down the because of your past life path, always looking for explanations, right? Yeah, Nantuckets are so good. Oh my God. The Pepperidge Farm did send Nantuckets. I was almost out of honey because I put honey in my coffee, and I texted my mom as a joke. I'm like, send honey, right? Instead of send money. Like college kids, send money. Send honey. Yeah, send me Nantuckets, man. Whew, they're so good. Dark chocolate. Really, I'm pretty sure that's how they convinced me to come into this life. There's dark chocolate. They mix it with sea salt. Really? Okay. Sign the contract. Forget everything. Live for chocolate. I incarnated for dark chocolate. I know people don't like it. That's okay. More for me. But this ongoing thing, I think the thing is, and it's related to the topic from yesterday's stream, is that we try so hard because subconsciously we feel unworthy, or the ego feels unworthy, and therefore is always trying to prove its worth. Now, look at social media. I mean, I think social media is perfect proof of that, right? people like trying to prove, look, I'm good. Look, I'm worthy. Look, here's my selfie. Look, here's this thing I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. But look at where we are right now. All of that has been truncated, abbreviated, limited, right? I also think there's some amazing humor coming out of this situation, because I do think the paradox of it all, the absurdity of it all, that is, the soul also laughs. I mean, it doesn't laugh derisively, but it can see the hypocrisy of all of this stuff. And that's why, my big laugh on this is like, okay, who had this on their vision board? Somebody needs to be witch slapped. Whoever was visualizing this current global situation needs a sitting down and a talking to, right? It's like, you need to pull your crown chakra out of your root chakra. Who had this on their vision board? No, obviously not at all. So I'm not saying I have any great big huge answers to this, but I do have some insight as a result of this morning to just try that. I worth you. I know it's horrible grammar, but try it. It's like, I worth you, because I evaluate you is not, or I value you is maybe not something that the inner child is going to take, because it's been evaluated its whole life, right? I worth you. Oh, I bought some dark chocolate with caramel and sea salt the other day. So good. Oh my goodness gracious. See, because my cats know their worth. Ain't that right, Melky? Hey, Smelkior. Oh my God. Oh my God. That they love me is a testament to my inherent worth. He's my talker. On cue, mind you. He's my baby boy. He's my smushy. Come here. You have cookies in your eye. It's my mama's job. I have to make sure you get the crunchies out your eye. Got him. I have fulfilled my purpose. So we're going to do a little meditation, and look, whether it's inner child work or, dissolving the ego, who cares anymore? Are the labels necessary? I think the labels are necessary to get you in, like PIN codes. The PIN codes are necessary to get you in, but once you're in, you don't need PIN codes anymore, right? You better know my word. You have no idea how valuable. Hi. Look at that face. He has like the perfect round kitty face. Here, say hello to the people. Nope. It's like, damn paparazzi. Paparazzi. And now he's licking his hindquarters. Lovely. Never work with animals or children. Thank you, W.C. Fields. So we're gonna start. Sometimes I'm jealous of narcissists because they don't have all this emotional, and I assume they don't feel bad. But that's not true. That's not true. Unfortunately, the term narcissist has become such a buzzword, and Matt Kahn said the funniest thing ever. He goes, they can't all be narcissists. It's true. Narcissism, only, 10% of the population has narcissistic personality disorder. So, okay, 1 out of 10, that's a lot of people. It's still a lot of people, but not to the extent that we see it, right? But if you do the research, you learn that what creates a narcissist is emotional neglect as a child. They were neglected. Does that make sense? So they were never given the attention, the love. Sorry about that. Sorry, I glitched. Sorry about that. Sorry, I glitched. Needed. So they had to make it all about them. It's a survival mechanism. And it happened to them when they were so young. It's not like they knew better. I mean, I joke, and I said, if I wish I had had the language to say to my father, it's like, Father, I think perhaps you are projecting some of your pain issues onto me, making me responsible for how you feel. I mean, I would have had the poop kicked out of me, beaten out of me if I had said that. But that was what was going on, right? He didn't know any better. My guides said to me, my God, I think back in the 90s when I was, bemoaning my childhood wounds. And they said, honey, Dr. Phil was still in college when you were a kid, right? So in other words, the state of psychology in the 1970s was nothing compared to it is now, let alone in the 90s, right? So that's the thing. It's like, how much do we want to hold our parents culpable for something they didn't know? Everybody is doing the best they can with the level of information and the level of consciousness and the level of pain they're dealing with. Mind you, we were chosen to play these roles. These are the perfect parents for us So even narcissists are pieces of the puzzle, whether they have the personality disorder, or look, everybody has narcissistic tendencies. It's called adolescence. That's usually what a narcissist is somebody, if you want to look at it from a shamanic perspective, that they need soul retrieval, that there are pieces of their past, that they're stuck in the past, right? The state of child psychology in the 70s was still very Victorian in design. Thank you very much, Paul. Perfectly said. A child should be seen and not heard, right? So to understand, we all were narcissistic. I mean, what did we call the 80s? The me decade. We might as well have called it the decade of narcissism. That's when I was a teenager. Was I narcissistic as a teenager? Yeah, but my spiritual calling came relatively early, and I had to learn how to give myself the love that my parents couldn't. Why? Because that love wasn't given to them. Why? Because their parents, it wasn't given to them. It just, this idea, right? Working with ancestors helped to heal. Absolutely. Because it is a generational thing. But we were chosen to play these roles in these lives, in the bodies that we are currently in, which included that it was part of the divine plan that every piece of emotional neglect, well, not just emotional neglect, physical neglect, right? Abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. Those are the 4 ego wounds. Those are the things we bemoan if you really boil it down. But to give ourselves the love that only we can give us, then it is about saying, believe it or not, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It's very Ho'oponopono. Love what rises, all of that. This is now the spiritual path. And remember the hologram, that we are all one. We are one eternal light appearing as an individuality. As we do that for ourselves individually, even when we're doing it together as a group, it is affecting everyone and everything. So your personal healing is part of the divine plan and affecting global change. But that's the role of the divine feminines. We're 1/3 of the population. You with me? Oh, wow, we're still talking about cookies here, so I guess there's a bit of a lag here. Some of you are lagging behind, and that's okay too. So here's going to be our contemplation, our meditation for the day, shall we? Everybody take a nice deep breath. In fact, take several. I'm going to prop myself up with some pillows here. Let's grab a crystal, why don't we? Here, we've got the miracle crystal, the throat chakra crystal. We just sit you right there. Oh, look at that. Oh, look. It's jewelry straight out of the 80s. It's big, it's chunky, it's glittery. There we go. Okay. Breathe. And if you would like to close your eyes, if you can, again, please make sure when you close your eyes and you're doing breathing work that you are in a safe location to do so, meaning that if you doze off or, don't hyperventilate, be gentle, but just make sure you're in a physically safe surrounding to do that. Nose whistle and all. Oh, you want us to go there? Okay. I want you to think of something that you've always wanted but never got. Oh, that's a good way to tap into the feeling of unworthy, isn't it? Got it. Loud and clear. Now understand what you are witnessing is the ego. That pain. It's also a part of the personality. It's also a part of the inner child. Did not get what it wants. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Something that you wanted that you didn't get. Now, there can be resentment in there, and that's okay. There can be anger in there, that's okay. There can be frustration in there, and that's okay too. And let's do that. Talk to that feeling, wherever it is in your body. I'll try and keep this as general as I can as I talk to mine. Hey, kid. Hey, sweetheart, I'm sorry. I am really sorry you didn't get what you wanted. Great big huge sorry. It's not fair. It's not fair. You said that you were told that dreams come true. You were told that if you worked hard enough, that you could make anything happen if you just believed. When you believe in yourself, then your dreams really do come true. I mean, you were given that by Disney, you were given that by teachers, you were given that by society, through movies, through fairy tales, through songs, fiction. And yet, you still haven't gotten what you wanted. I acknowledge that. See, there it is. There's that emotion. But I want you to know you are worthy of getting everything that you want. I don't know if you're going to get everything you want, but I'm here. You're not alone. And I love you. I worth you. And you've been trying to prove your worth to everyone on planet Earth through the way you look, through your daily regimens, to the point where you don't even realize you're doing it anymore. Trying to prove yourself. Even the spiritual work. Well, if I love myself enough, I'll get what I want, then I'll be worthy. If I forgive more, if I do more yoga, if I pray more, if I meditate more, maybe then God will think I'm worthy enough to give me what I want. I'll hit the right pH balance, I'll reach the right temperature, and then I'll be worthy of having what I want. Oh, sweetheart, my beloved, it doesn't work that way, and you are worthy. You don't need to do all those gymnastics. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. And I know you've heard these words before, so let me say it to you, coming from the soul. You are worthy. You are perfect exactly as you are. I worth you. I say you're worthy. Because your dreams are beautiful. There's nothing wrong with what you want. And God, I wish I could wiggle my nose and blink my eyes like Samantha and Jeannie and just poof, make it happen for you. I just don't have that kind of magic. But I love you. And you are worth this world to me. And I am so sorry. And God, I can feel your pain. But let's be clear. It has never been about you being not good enough. You are good enough. You're more than good enough. You're perfect as you are, and I wouldn't choose to be anybody else but you. In fact, if I get the opportunity, I will be you again. I'll come back and be you again. And we'll do it differently next time around. Because I have a feeling we might have done this together before already. Meta-incarnation. But I worth you. I say you're worthy. What you want is beautiful. And I know it's hard to watch other people have what you want, but I have it under good authority that it's okay to feel that jealousy because it's just a portend that what you want is coming. So you don't even have to feel bad about feeling jealous or envious anymore. I want you to feel jealous. I want you to feel envy. Why? Because what you want is worth having, and that's a sign. And as I love that in you, as we love what rises there, even in that jealousy, even in that envy, it's going to dissolve. It's going to unwind. Because that needs more love, not less. And it really shows us it's something that we really want and something that we signed up for. And I can't tell you when, and I can't tell you how. I can't tell you where or with who that you're going to get what you want. Or even, if I'm going to be totally honest, if you're going to get what you want. But I do know you are worthy of it. We've also been told that something better might come in its place that will erase our memory of ever wanting anything other than what we get, because it will be so much better for us and so much more fulfilling. I love you so much, kid. Inner child, ego, personality, whatever you are. I don't even care what the world calls you or what you are, because you're wonderful. You are wonderful. You are magnificent. You are worthy. You are worth this world, and you are worth all of this crazy, that's going on the planet right now. It's worth it if I get to get in touch with you and we get to talk about this, and I get to love you in this way that I haven't before, from the point of view of the soul, right? Because if I'm coming from love, I'm the soul, and I can feel your pain, then I'm the soul right now. It's okay. And whether we get what we want or not, number one, nothing wrong with wanting it. You want that with all of your heart if you want, even though it hurts, I'm here. Number two, no matter what comes, no matter what goes, you're worthy. And it's okay even if you want to feel unworthy. I'm here. That's okay too. It's okay to feel unworthy. It may take some time. Maybe we'll carry it every day for the rest of this life and into the next. I don't know. But I'm here. And I love you. And I worth you. I say you're worthy. And I love you with everything I've got. And here we've been wanting other people to do that for us. I'm sorry it took me so long to figure it out. I really, really am very sorry it took me so long to figure it out. But I'm here. And I love you. Thank you. Thank you, kid. Thank you, inner child, ego, personality, whatever you are. So how about we go about our day? How about we have some fun today? We'll put on the Wonder Woman mask. We'll go for a walk, and we'll come home and make some videos, and we'll see how this day goes, okay? Right on time. Take a few deep breaths. Because the garbage men are here. And it's about to get really loud here. Thank you, Maul. Thank you, Mari. Thank you for the super chats. Take a few deep breaths, everybody. Come back into your body. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Not that you left your body. But I want to thank you so much for playing along today. This was a good one. I guess they're all serving. But you're worthy. I say you're worthy. Not that you need me to tell you you're worthy, but you're worthy. I love you all so much. Have an awesome day, everybody. I'm going to go eat a cookie. I'm gonna go put on my sneakers, and I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go for a walk and breathe some fresh air through my Wonder Woman mask that my friend Charlotte made for me. I love you all so very, very, very much. Oh, maybe that wasn't the garbage bin, but still, we've been doing this about an hour. I say you're all worthy. Enjoy your cookie. I will. It's Pepperidge Farm, Nantucket. I can't not enjoy that. And I'm going to be and by the way, go check out the videos Go check them out. I just put out a slew of meditation videos. There are more coming today, both from Meditate with Mal as well as from Witch Class Cycle 1, and there's a ton more coming. I love you all so very, very, very much. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this day. And again, thank you for the super chats, Mal and Mari. You guys sound like a vaudeville act. Have a really, really great great day, everybody. You are worthy. I am worthy. I worth you. Hail, farewell, and blessed be. Ciao bella.